The hardening of Pharaoh's heart, recounted repeatedly in the Exodus narrative, Exodus 7 through 12, remains one of the most debated passages in the Bible. It raises fundamental questions about divine sovereignty and human free will, sparking centuries of theological discussion. This seemingly contradictory presentation has led to diverse interpretations. The divine action interpretation. This perspective emphasizes God's active role in hardening Pharaoh's heart. Proponents argue that this doesn't negate Pharaoh's responsibility, as his choices were still his own, even if divinely enabled to reach a point of ultimate rebellion. The human responsibility interpretation. This view emphasizes human free will and responsibility, asserting that Pharaoh's choices were ultimately his own, and God's actions were a response to, rather than a cause of, Pharaoh's stubbornness. Reconciling the perspectives. The most nuanced interpretations suggest a combination of both divine action and human responsibility. God, knowing Pharaoh's heart, allowed his inherent resistance to escalate through a series of judgments, creating an opportunity to demonstrate his power and ultimately bring about the liberation of the Israelites. Pharaoh's actions, however stubborn, remain his own, contributing to the overall unfolding of God's plan. The hardening of Pharaoh's heart remains a complex theological puzzle. In Romans 9, Paul uses the hardening of Pharaoh's heart as an example to illustrate God's sovereignty and his purposes in salvation. He doesn't directly address the how of Pharaoh's hardening, whether it was solely God's action or a result of Pharaoh's own will, but uses it to emphasize that God's purposes are not thwarted by human resistance. The example serves to highlight God's sovereign control over history and his ability to work through even seemingly negative circumstances to achieve his purposes.